it's reviewing our relationship with self, and why it's very clear why that's a part of this whole journey of acceptance through self-love, because our relationship with ourself is so tainted by what we have been told to believe about ourselves. By having to do presentations when we're 5-6 years old in the very first year of school, by, for me, when we used to do spelling tests, and we used to put up your hands if you got 40 out of 40, put up your hands if you got 30 out of 30, put up your hands if you got under 10, and I've got 3. And I remember what that did to my relationship with myself. And it took me until my 20s when I started to develop the coping skills to be able to rewire that stuff. Just going in and going, who am I? How do I view me? What parts of myself are really beautiful? What parts of myself do I embrace? What part of myself are my strengths? One thing I love about Gary Vee, and it's kind of it's a flip, is that if you're really good at something, do it. If you're not, get somebody else to do that for you. Don't waste your time in trying to develop skills that you aren't good at, because while you're doing that, you're wasting time and enhancing the things that you are good at. Doesn't mean you ignore those things, but if you're not good at something, often we feel we have to improve that because of conditioning.
That's really
very true. Very true. I'm not a good speller, and you know what? I get somebody to help me. It's called technology. And then sometimes, if I'm lucky enough, I get people to proofread.
I've noticed.
Yeah, it's shocking. And then I'll cut bits from my blog, and then I'll put them onto mini content things. So I'm like, oh, oops, there's like 3 spelling mistakes in that. But it's my weakness, and I'm okay with that, And if the people that are reading it are too caught up with the spelling mistakes, well, then they're not the clients.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They're missing the message, because that's my weakness and I embrace it. And you know what's funny, what you just said about scholarship for tertiary? They now have to have scholarships to get into state high schools at the age of 12.
Yeah.
What is with that? And it's normal.
It's American.
I can list probably 6 of my friends whose kids have gone through the scholarship process just to get to a state high school. And see, these are the conditionings that we're talking about that shape our relationship with ourselves. And it's really important to approach that with acceptance. Because believe me, with my spelling, being a primary school teacher, especially having the teacher that the principal that I had, he was looking for any opportunity to get me fired. And he saw that I couldn't spell, and I've got dyslexia, so of course I couldn't spell, but I had to then go and pay $500 for a psych report to prove I had dyslexia, which it did. But she also wrote this beautiful quote saying, even though she has dyslexia, that actually makes her a really, really good teacher, and she's a blessing to have. Thank you. But it still has conditioned me. And all those things about, am I worthy to share what I share? Because of my inability to communicate clearly for people. And how deep does that go? And that's why this process of self-acceptance is so important, and to focus on the things that make you feel good. It doesn't mean that you don't develop skills.
No.
If you've got a weakness, you've got a weakness. It's probably always going to be a weakness, but you can still develop skills and things to support yourself if you have to use areas within your life that you aren't comfortable with. And while you're doing that, often that's when the big shifting changes. So, massive block around using technology, and it's probably an age thing. And building the website, it was Damien could have done it for me, but he said, you have to do it so you know how to do it, and it doesn't get as messy and as stuffed up as the last one. And it took me almost a year. And the amount of blockages that came up, and I would freak out, and I would stop and step away for sometimes 6 weeks. But once I remember I had to apply a Stripe. I didn't even know what that was. And once I had done that, once I went, oh my gosh, I can actually do this, then it fell away. And now I can learn things like that in regards to technology. I wouldn't say it's a strength, but my strength is being able to adapt. So I can use that strength to help me in the areas that I need to in my life where the skills may not be as strong as they need to be. It's just about going in and giving yourself an internal hug, you know, that sacred hug, and just going, this is who I am. This is something that's good about me because that's how I judge it. This is something that's bad about me because that's how I judge it. But at the end of the day, it is all perfect. Feeling embraced by yourself and knowing where you are in regards to the relationship with you. Let's close our eyes, place our hands on our knees, palms facing up. And drop into that heart space and sense the beating of the heart. And feel this beating of the heart sending pulses throughout you. Through every fibre of your being, allow the beat of the heart to resonate. Opening up the space for deep self-love. Then inhale and suspend the breath while the intention is set. May I dive deep into a realization and awareness about all that I am, developing a deep relationship with myself that is covered with the blessing of self-love. May this happen more than ever before for the benefit of all. And exhale.